everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am coming at you with 56 first-time questions, so get ready. Alright, first things first. First app you check when you wake up in the morning, Facebook. First broken bone, fun fact, I have never broken a bone. First foreign country you have ever visited, Costa Rica when I was 17. It was a school trip, my graduating year in 2011. First Instagram, Twitter, Facebook post. I think my first Instagram photo is a picture of a snowman. My first year on campus with a sign that said have a good day. He looked a little bit like a bum. I'll insert it here, down here, or here, or here. Wherever I can insert it, I will put it there. First makeup item, I don't know. I've been wearing makeup since I was about 13, probably lip gloss or mascara. I might have even used my mom to start, I'm not really sure. First plane ride you ever went on, so we flew into Costa Rica via Vancouver to Texas. So we flew from Vancouver to Texas and then Texas to Costa Rica. First time I ever got into trouble at school. I remember distinctly being in kindergarten and drawing on one of the chairs with a piece of chalk and being sent to the principal's office for that. First YouTuber you subscribed to, I think it was Zoella. First boyfriend. This is a little bit complicated because I didn't really have a relationship. I sort of was just having fun. The boyfriend that I'm with now is my first actual boyfriend. We got together when I was 20. Before that, it was just a lot of exploration stuff. I was in college, let's just put it that way. First car, I owned a 1998 Chevy Cavalier, and it was my favorite thing ever. It was blue, and it was beautiful. My first celebrity crush, Joey Fatone. When I was 9 years old, NSYNC was really the thing, and I loved him because he had purple hair. I remember that so vividly. I was in love with him. My first crush, his name was Kevin, and I was in kindergarten. My first ever boyfriend, like I said, the one that I'm with now. Oh wait, nope, that's a lie. I had a boyfriend in 7th grade. We were not together very long because it was not an actual relationship. I was 13. And when I was 13, it was a lot different than how 13-year-olds are now. I'm a 90s kid, let's be real. My first ever date, I don't really remember. Okay, let's change the question. I will tell you about my first date with my boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years, and we went to Fury when it came out in the movies. After the movie, we went to Dairy Queen. This is like the story time. I will save this for story time because I think that it's a cute little story that I would like to put on a video one day. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I will tell you the rest another time. My first ever girlfriend. I think her name was Sydney. As far as I can remember, it was Sydney, and we are no longer friends. We were friends all the way through high school, and then we just kind of fell out. You know, I'm not really friends with anybody from high school anymore, so it's okay. My first ever kiss, his name was Tim, and I was 18 years old. It was awful. It was a terrible kiss. I'm sorry, Tim, if you ever see this, but it was a bad kiss. It was a bad, bad kiss. It was not good at all. My first fear, I think, was the dark. My first friend in college, her name is Kat, and she's one of my best friends now. My first heartbreak, I was 18. This is another story time, so I'll just save it for that, but it was bad. It was bad. It put me in a really bad place. My first job, I was a day camp leader, and that was so much fun, and I wish that I had the opportunity to do something like that again. And then after that, when I was 16, I worked at Subway, the sandwich franchise. I hated it. It was not for me. It's fun to make sandwiches all day. No, it wasn't. My first language, English is the only language I speak, even though I live in Canada. I know that it's a big belief that all Canadians speak French. That's not true. The only provinces that really speak French are obviously Quebec, and the eastern provinces along the border of Quebec are the only places in Canada that speak French. English is everywhere. Everybody here speaks English. So if you're from a different country and you're planning to come to Canada, we speak English. You don't have to learn another language to come here. My first pet was a hamster named Haley, and I was 3 or 4, and she died. And then my parents got me a cat, and I got her for my 5th birthday, and she ended up being my emotional support animal. She was never registered as one, but that's what she was for me. She was my best friend. I got her on my 5th birthday, and she passed away when I was 20. So 15 years with her, and she will always be in my heart. My first piercing, and when did I get it? My ears, when I was 4. My first sexual experience, another story time, but I was 20 years old. Yes, I know I was a little bit of a late bloomer, but that's okay. My first tattoo, I have a foot tattoo. I'll insert a picture. It is an anchor and it says balance underneath. And it's just because when I got it, I had just been diagnosed with all of my mental illnesses essentially, and I just was in the process of recovering, and I was still very early in my process of recovering, and I just wanted a little reminder to just stay balanced. My first time on a plane, again from Vancouver to Texas, and again from Texas to Costa Rica. My first time on a ship, I was actually born on this island that I'm living now. I wasn't raised here, but I was born here, and we lived here until I was about 4 years old. And then we moved over to the mainland. So my first time on a ship, I was probably very, very little. My first time on a train, I went to Europe last year, and I went on a train from London to Kent because my boyfriend has family in England. So that was my first time on a train, and it was really exciting. My first YouTube video is my Ipsy unbagging. I will link it down below if you'd like to go watch it. The first concert I ever attended was Avril Lavigne. I want to say 14. I might have been a little bit older, or even younger, maybe. I went to an Avril Lavigne concert. It was when she just started, like it was her very first North American tour, and I've only ever been to 2 concerts in my life. So she was my first, and I went to a Roger Waters concert when he was doing the North American tour for The Wall. The first movie I remember seeing, I don't remember seeing it, but my very first movie was Barney, because it was the 90s. The first person I text when something happens, usually my boyfriend or my mom. The first thing I do every morning, I go pee. Doesn't everybody go pee when they first wake up in the morning? The first thing I do when I get home, I sit down. The first time I ever got drunk, I was 17. I drank some Smirnoff and I fell onto the floor, and I woke up with a giant bruise on my leg. First party, when I was 18. When I first started college, I was very experimental in college, because I know that a lot of people are very shy and don't like to open up that way. But in high school, I was not a cool kid. I was not attractive in high school. Nobody really liked me. I was friends with everyone, but I wasn't, close with anyone, so I didn't really have a lot of friends. I still don't have a lot of friends, but in college was sort of when I came out of my shell, and I opened up and I started partying and doing what you should be doing in college. The first time I got a speeding ticket, I've never gotten a speeding ticket because I'm a great driver. The first alcoholic drink, Smirnoff, it was some kind of cooler or mixer. I'm not really sure. I think it was in a can. It might have even been a Palm Bay, but I drank a lot of it. These are a lot of the same questions. Who was your first roommate? Okay, so here's the thing. I started college when I was 18, and my first roommate was my best friend at the time and a mutual friend of ours. And we had a tiny little apartment, and it was not worth it. It ruined my relationship with my best friend. We don't talk anymore. I haven't talked to her in years. So I really do not recommend living with your best friend. Just don't do it unless you absolutely know for certain that there's nothing about them that you don't love. Because I learned a lot from that experience, and I started to see a lot in her that I didn't like, and I found myself growing quite a lot. She was staying the same, it felt like, so it just ruined our relationship. After I moved out of there, we never really talked again. My second year of university, I was in a dorm room. The dorm rooms at my university that I went to are quite different from the way that it is in the States, it seems. I don't know if it's like this in every university in Canada, but the university that I went to, you had your own private room, and then you shared, depending on what building you were in, you shared a kitchen area and a bathroom with everyone else. The one that I was in, I had my own mini kitchen, so I had a little fridge, a stove top, and I had a sink. and I shared a bathroom with 3 other girls. In the dorm building across the campus was a newer residential building, a lot more expensive, and you had your own bedroom, but you shared everything else. So you had like a common area with everyone else, and you shared like a kitchen, and I had like full-size fridges. Anyways, that's just how it was at my university. Who was the first beauty-related person you watched on YouTube? Probably Kathleen Light, because I didn't start watching Zoella until she was actually doing more than just beauty. A lot of these are all the same, so I might just end the video. That's it for these questions, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any more questions for me, please leave them down below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. The little bell there as well so that you get notifications when I upload a video. Please remember to give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys, thanks for watching.